Welcome back, everyone, to our fourth episode of season 2 of What's Spinnin'.
Woohoo!
Yep, you're joined here with myself, Brett, Mitch, familiar faces.
Yep.
We have a guest from the 45 Drive side here with us, Brandon McGinnis. Thanks for joining us, Brandon. And our real guest of the day, Alex Tran from Immich. He's from a bunch of different stuff too, but we're here to talk about Immich, a automation backup software that he has built and shared with the world, and is quite the piece of technology.
Yep,
we're
cool.
Big fans of it. And
so much so that we included it as a spotlight for our HL15 launch. Which
exactly,
was really cool.
Exactly. So we'll get into exactly what it is and nail the details, and we'll let Alex tell us because it's his baby. So thank you so much, Alex. You took some time in your day to join us, and we're very appreciative of that. So yeah, thanks for joining us.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex from Immich, and thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome.
Excited to have you.
So we like to start all these podcasts we do. We like to highlight our guests, what they're doing, what they're the products, whatever they're repping. But we like to start with a little bit of who they are,
a little history,
because everyone likes to put a little personality to it. So Alex, we've got some notes here on you, and I'll let you tell us yourself. The one that stands out to me right now, though, is you're an electrical engineer by education. So, yeah,
commonalities there.
Yeah, me too. I've entered into the IT space more so than that. But anyway, without further ado, why don't we just dive right in? What's your origin story, Alex? How'd you get into the technology world, and what drove you to building Immich?
Yeah, so I'm electrical engineer by schooling, and by actually working in my daytime, actually.
Nice.
And throughout my career, I built some hardware product that has some software component. So I write the firmware for the embedded system board, and then that product is a Bluetooth product, so I write also the mobile app for it. And since then, I started to take more interest into going to the software route. And then I self-taught myself a lot of the software development skill, from web development to mobile development, and it's kind of just pick up from there. And since I really like to build things, and software is a low cost of entry to build new things, so it kept me interested in building things at night. So yeah.
Interesting. So this is essentially a side hustle for you. You still have a full day job as an electrical engineer?
Yes, so I'm actually moving on to be an engineering manager now. So I don't do a lot of technical work, a lot of management work nowadays in my day job. But having Immich as my side gig or night gig, you would say, so I still get to keep that, like
Get to
really
keep your skills sharp.
close.
Yeah.
Yep, really close to the code.
Yeah.
I'm also interested in staying.
That's cool. Yeah, no, you got to keep a little bit of that love in there, because the transition from technical project management to a little bit of people management and everything is, computers and software can be tough, but humans, man.
Brett and I know that all too well, I think. Yeah. I got to say, though, I've just so much envy you guys as in electrical engineers. It's just so cool to see how you guys just understand and can build things from the lowest layers all the way up. Like for me, I've got some skills and stuff, and I can work with the software, but there's still a lot of things that are black boxes to me once you get to the low level, like to the PCB and the electronics. So it's just, that stuff really always interests me, and if I could go back, that is definitely where I would start back at for sure.
Where'd you go to school, Alex?
I went to school in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Nice.
It's funny, as Canadians, I don't know, we know so many places in the States. Like that name I know, even though it's probably in the middle of nowhere. I've heard it in some movie or some show, like in Nebraska.
Yep, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like if you think the United States like rectangular, and then you make a cross size, like right.
Awesome. So let's dive in right into the meat of this. Immich. First of all, cool name. Really
Yes.
like it.
Yep.
But
It's
before we
catchy.
dive into that, for anyone listening who is unfamiliar, what is it? Give us an overview of the application and like what its key features and what it is built to achieve.
Yeah, so you can think Immich as a self-hosted application, which means if you have a server, you can install it. And what it does is it's a service with a mobile app so that you can back up all the photos from your mobile app to the server. You think of the other services that well known. You can think of iCloud, Google Photos, and but uh, for Immich, everything stay on your server, so you have your privacy, you have all your files, and no one can access it if you're not allowed to.
Perfect.
So that's the basis of Immich. And of course, we build additional things like more photo management, searching, and all those AI that we built into everything hosting and running locally by your CPU. Nothing got sent out to the outside network. So all the facial recognition is also staying local.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's an important part too. Is like, you know, these days it's almost impossible to keep your data your own, but to be able to do all that stuff internally, it's empowering for sure.
Yeah, no, it fits the home lab, exactly why we built the home lab too, because there's so many tools and applications like this. There should be a nice piece of hardware you can run it all on too.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
there's that. Man, we got so lost in the convenience of the cloud of like, yeah, this is great, and then now you realize, holy crap, I don't own anything.
You don't
Like,
own anything. Yeah.
I remember Brandon, you telling us a story about your fighting iCloud trying to get your photos back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
after that experience with iCloud, I'm truly done with cloud. That
Yeah.
was like a true eye opener for me. Like, it was almost a 3-week ordeal just to get my photos back from iCloud.
yeah.
And it's like what I even said to their customer service. Like, at this point, do I even own my photos? And then it came up. I was like, just out of curiosity, because I recently got a new bank card expired, and I was like, if I forgot to update my credit card details, how long would I have before you guys would start purging out my stuff? I only had 30 days.
Oh wow.
You know what? Didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they gave you 30 days and they start purging. So scary.
It's funny because I was thinking too, is you're also the possibility of where they say they're deleting your files,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then who knows, right? If they're actually really gone back there, right? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
So awesome that this project
Yeah.
exists. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, and if your photo is shareable, most likely it's not being encrypted on the server side. So
Yeah.
people with the credential, not your credential, but like a server credential,
Yep.
who has access to the file system can access those photos of yours, even though it's in your account.
Oh, that gives
So-
me the creeps.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things there. So what inspired you to start this? What was the basis of the idea of like, yeah, you know what I need to do is? Did you get burned by a cloud service? Was you trying to help someone else out? Like, yeah, what was the start?
So it's actually starting from after having my first kid, my wife complained that her Google Photo is now no longer have unlimited storage anymore.
Mm.
And she told me that you always wanted to build something for me. You always wanted to find something useful to build for me. And I was like, yeah, fine, I'm gonna build you a Google Photo. So I take this as a chance for me to also learn new technology, putting everything that I kind of know into practice and experimentation. So yeah, so that's how Immich started. I first developed a prototype with a mobile app, people to upload to the server. So that's the first step. And when I have that, I posted a post on Reddit, on the self-hosted subreddit, and I got overwhelmed support from the community. Well, backtrack a little bit. Of course, before that, I tried to find existing service, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything that has the backup mechanism like seamless from the mobile app So that's why I wanted to build something for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the common theme. It's like people that build things. It always typically comes from, it's like, this is something that I want. I can't find it. Well, no one else is gonna do it. I better do it. I love that.
When you started, did you have the intention of sharing it with everyone, or was it kind of like along the way you're like, oh, maybe this is going to serve a lot of people's needs?
So after the first prototype, with that support from the community, people will start asking, "Is it open source?" At the time, I was hosting it on GitLab,
Mm-hmm.
and then I moved it to GitHub because it's like a de facto for open source project for communication, for collaboration. So I started to put the project on there and share with everybody. And for the first few months, I pick up a few questions from the community, some user that really advanced because for the first few release, I don't have the app on the App Store, so people have to build it from source and then install it on their phone. And there are actually people doing that, and I receive a lot of positive feedback and suggestion. And then I started to put it on the App Store and mainstream the deployment by putting it into Docker. Then it started to get more traction.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah.
So like, did you publish it on your own for the first time, or like, did you guys have a team? So how did that kind
No,
of?
it's
Yeah, just you.
Yeah, so the project started with just me, and then I paid $99 fee for Apple to publish it, and $30 fee for Google App Store to publish it, and
Okay.
also I publish it on F-Droid, so people
yeah.
that don't want to use the App Store, they can use it, they can download it.
Sideload it, yeah.
Yep. And then eventually, when we have, so the thing that I think helped Immich of gaining traction is I tend to do the monthly update post
Yep.
on Reddit just to keep everyone, hey, this is what I did over the last month. Here are the new things that are being developed. So thank you very much, and please give me feedback. And so that create more traction, and then we have more contributors started to come in. And then with the contributor that really into the project, you can see it, they start pushing out a lot of pull requests. Then those contributors get invited into the core team, I would call. So now the whole team, we have about 10 to 12 people.
Wow.
With about 6 really active contributor. And over the past, so Immich is going to be 2 years, 2 years old in 8 days.
Wow.
And
Happy birthday.
Early
Yeah.
birthday.
Happy early birthday. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. So yeah, and over the past year, there was hardly any day that we don't talk or communicate about Immich on Discord. So that's kind of crazy of the
Yeah.
amount of collaboration and the amount of code being pushed every month.
Yeah, really.
Well, that's awesome too. I think it just speaks to the need of a tool like this because, well, you put something out there and then everyone flocks to it. It's the beautiful part of the open source community.
Exactly.
We make something that we want to share with people, and then the best part is they use it.
Yeah.
And they join.
It's the best feeling.
So I think it's safe to say then, is there any other comparable self-hosted product on the market, open source or paid, compared to this? And really, if there is, what sets Immich apart from them?
So there are other big players like PhotoPrism in the self-hosted community, because so they have, but the way they build the application is more like a photo management system. While you already have an existing gallery that you
Right.
want to have a nice view, a nice way of managing your photos. So that is the approach from PhotoPrism, while Immich is on the opposite side, on the different side
Yeah.
of using the application as the backup mechanism. And then the other things of management kind of come after that. For the paid, would say Google Photo would be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are other software that I've heard but I haven't used, like ENT. Yeah.
Something like that. Cool.
So yeah, so it is a paid product that you is also help you to back up your photos, but I haven't used it yet. I saw it advertised around Reddit.
Nice.
So going back just quickly to your team, and you say you got about 10 contributors and like 6 really, really high contributors. How are you guys, what's the model right now? Like, are you guys doing any kind of monetization? Is it just donations, or do you have like a premium version, or is it all still just kind of everyone is just donating their time and everyone it just wants to see it successful?
Are you talking about like the
Just-
monetization plan for Immich?
Correct.
Or-
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Yeah, so my plan is to have Immich to be forever free.
Oh, wow.
Wicked.
Wonderful.
That is
Yeah.
really, really cool.
And right now, just keep asking for the donation so that eventually it's pile up to the amount that I can eventually make this my day job.
yeah.
But that's a long short, and I don't want to push it really hard because I want to be able to keep Immich free and away from investor money.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because when you have investor money coming in, then you have to start chasing that revenue, and
Yeah,
that is
everything
going to
changes.
move, that direction to more pay user focus, and I don't want that. Yeah,
That's
I want
so
to do
cool
something
hear.
real good here.
It's not very common in apps nowadays where they have that goal to stay free.
No, it's literally the goal to get it as big as we can and then see who we can sell it to.
Yeah.
Get it as big as I can, and then I'm going to start charging.
Well, it
monthly
sounds fun,
subscriptions.
but like you said, yeah, investors, you got to chase the revenue, but then you have to answer to people, and then they want to put other features in it, and then you just lose control. That's the
Yep.
fun part of this. It's
The soul.
Yeah, it's
I
the
mean,
soul.
look
Yeah.
at Facebook, right? Look where it came from and where it ended up. Like now you can't scroll literally 2 seconds without about 5 ads in your face.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? And like when it started, it was like no ads ever, right? And so,
I miss
yeah.
the ad-free internet days.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the philosophy of self-hosted, keeping applications like this that people can break free from, I don't know, from
the paid
ecosystem
what is it,
of
the
like we
software
own
as
it
a
all
service.
now. Like it's an honorable feat.
What is it? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Who said that?
I don't know, but I like it.
But
Yeah.
like Ubisoft, one of the head people at Ubisoft video game company, just last month or this month, we had an interview and they're essentially saying, we need to get gamers comfortable with not owning their games, and that quote
Yeah, I saw
blew
that.
up, right? And it's just like it's funny because gamers are the last holdout, right? Like movies. TV has all gone streaming. No one really owns anything, and kind of gamers are that
yeah.
last holdout of no. I like my physical media.
Yeah, I never seen that quote. That's kind of spooky.
Yeah, no. And I mean, he's just really talking about like all these subscription services, right? Like Game Pass and things like that. And it's like, yeah, they do bring a great service, but at the same time, your content isn't your own anymore. And they can take it away anytime they want.
Another thing is too,
Yeah,
it adds
if-
up
if-
quick. Like those monthly subscriptions. Next thing you know, you're looking at
5 of them,
$100
6
a
of them,
month,
yeah.
and it's just getting ridiculous. You're looking at almost a car payment in monthly subscriptions.
Yeah. So you're gonna say something there, Alex?
Yeah, if I have to build some products that to monetize it, it's gonna be completely different approach
Cool.
from the
Awesome.
start. Yeah.
Good
Which
to hear.
leads me into this next question then. So we touched on the she's staying free, no monetization,
yeah.
but future goals for Immich. Like, you got any big feature sets you want to add? A certain like, what over the next few years? Where do you want to see the application go?
So we want to build the application to the state that we can deem it stable.
Okay.
Right now, we still put it as beta or alpha, still in really heavy development.
Mhm.
Eventually, we want to make it stable so that we can guarantee backward compatibility between the mobile app and the server, so that just give the user that more stable when
Just
they
that
use the
seamless
application.
experience.
Nice.
Something
Yep,
I was
and
meaning
then-
to ask is, what kind of challenges did you face compatibility-wise with the application, like getting it to work with Android and Apple? Like I can only imagine Apple must have been a little bit of a headache.
Yeah, especially for the background task, because Apple you don't know how they specify when your app can run in the background. So it's depending on how many apps you allow the background job to be able to run,
Okay.
and then the usage behavior of your app, and then so many other things
Yeah.
There's so
that
many.
we don't know. Yeah. So that is one thing that we don't have a complete control, but we were able to guide user how to overcome those, and eventually they see the background task pick up and run their upload in the background.
I've been using it now. I've been using Immich now for probably 3 or 4 months, and the backup feature for me has been absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. I haven't even had to think about it. Every once in a while, I'll come into work, I open it, and it's just like everything's there. It's backed up for me, and it's awesome because I didn't have to do anything. I go home, I plug my phone in because I have it set up with the option you have. It only backs up when it's charging. So I have that enabled, so I go to bed, plug it in, I wake up, everything's done for me. I don't have to worry about anything, and it's all on my own server. So it's just fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, I set that up for my wife as well. So
Going back to that
always
wife
backed up.
thing,
Yeah.
you must have got a lot of brownie points by doing that for setting a whole new application, a brand new thing, all just because she asked you. That's got to win some points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe too much.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Jumping off his compatibility question, I'm sure you can see the stats of who uses this. Do you see more adoption with Android users over Apple users, or is there any insight you can gain from that?
So we don't really track anything beside the download that you can get from the App Store.
Okay.
I would say the Apple user is also hard to track because unless you opt in
Okay.
to send
True.
your metric to the developer, it doesn't log at all. So I would say maybe 50-50.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine it would. If I was to say my gut here, you'd probably get the Android users first. And that'd be a little more.
Yeah.
Anyway, but interesting, cool.
Yeah, to use something a little more self-hosted, you'd think they'd be more. Yeah.
And I guess every time I download an app, they're like, "Do you want to send the information to the dev?" And
No.
no.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And when I ask questions like this and don't get the answer I want, I'm like, maybe
You're
I should,
part of the
Maybe I
problem.
should say yes then.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going back to Immich and turning it on.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
So
Yeah, but for the future of Immich is we kind of talk internally that we might eventually have some service that help people, the hosting service that help people want to use Immich but doesn't want to host it on their own. So
okay.
we might build something like that as
Ooh.
additional service that we can offer, but right now it's just a talk. We don't have any concrete plan on that yet.
That's interesting though. That could be big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the whole thing is like, where does that live?
Yeah,
And everything
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole point
Yeah,
really
you-
is
you-
it's yours. It's on your server.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still come back to that, but it's on your server.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Something else I really enjoyed too was the user interface you created. I'm usually pretty picky on like user interfaces, and I really liked yours because it was simple, but it wasn't overdone. It was like that perfect middle of the road where I'm pretty techie. I understood it. Everything was straightforward, but not only did I get it, my girlfriend got it. And kind of hearing your story about it started with like your wife wanted it. Kind of makes sense. I guess you kind of had to make it accessible for her too, but
Hey,
you
who's to
did
say
wicked.
she's not very techie?
Oh yeah, you know what? I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's half compliment, half question.
Yeah.
UI design's really hard.
Yeah.
It is.
It is
It's
extremely.
technically hard, and it gets kind of brushed under the rug. But to make something that can just service two groups of people is really hard. So I don't know. Tell us about your design process, I guess, on building the UI out.
So the idea for me is to build the replica of Google Photo for my wife first. So I kind of follow a lot of the interface from Google Photos, and then eventually have some of my own design in those custom components that we started to build extra from that is steered away from Google Photo, but we still keep the skeleton so that to make that as a drop-in replacement for anyone that moving from Google Photos to Immich, they can just navigate, follow follow the same workflow, and be able to use the application.
Yeah.
And then anything that regarding the administration function, we hide it in the admin only user, because then those user will only care about that. So then you went in there, we expose a lot more option, but I like a nice design. So every single thing, I think about it, and then I go around the internet and try to get um, idea from different application, different design. Try to get idea from my sister. My sister is a graphic design, so
Nice.
she helped me a lot as well. So yeah, so that helps on to make the design as slick and as nice. Yeah.
I liked it too because you can almost delete on Apple. At least you can kind of delete the Photos app and put Immich in place, and you can barely tell it's different.
Nice.
It's got the same.
Yeah,
little
we have
color
some user reporting bug on Google Photos, but they thought it was
But yeah, I guess that's nice because it's very familiar, right, for people that are coming from Google Photos, so they still feel at home. And then for the power users, right, like you said, you hide all that stuff, but it's easy to get to for someone that really wants to dig in. But with that, transitioning from Google Photos or a cloud one, as we know, a lot of data breaches, a lot of privacy concerns, issues like that with cloud hosted services. What kind of work are you guys doing on the Immich side to make sure that your solution is secure from data breaches, or for people that do want to put their self-hosted image on the internet where they can access it from when they're out and about or traveling, the kind of work that you guys or anything you're focusing on in that realm?
Yeah, so for security, we implement the simplest one, which is username and password. And then we delegate the more complex one to the security provider, for example, Authentic, which you can add your OIDC or F2A sign-in on that end if you want. Because we have, within the core team, we have about 3 people that actually working in app security, so they knows a lot about app security, and they don't want to touch any of that because the provider should give you a better security when
Makes
you come to
sense.
that. So we don't implement it ourselves. So in Immich, you can completely disable username and password sign in, and then you enable the 2-factor authentication from different provider. So when you sign in, you have to go through that step and then sign in with your email. Then it's link the account together to make that into an Immich account.
Oh, that's
And for
fantastic point. Oh, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and for the user, a lot of the user here are home labber.
Yep.
So they have the infrastructure setting at home. Usually, we advise them to use VPN.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because that
Eliminates a lot.
Yeah, because you don't know your infrastructure if there is anything that is open
Yep.
and accessible from the outside world. And a lot of people coming in are new to home lapping as well.
Absolutely.
I think that is a sound way to go to keep your images safe and still be able to access from the outside service. Because granted, self-hosting, you are not going to be open your services to 20, 30 people. It's maybe 5 people in your household, and it's not a hassle to set up VPN on their phone when they want to access the instance, which ensures the security and the privacy that you have.
Yeah, you said a lot of great things there. So one thing I want to say for sure is you have people in the home lab. Some of these people are new, right? They're new to it. They're not going to know what they don't know when it comes to security, right? So being able to set it up with already established security things that are out there, I think is huge. And then number 2, trying to say, hey, probably not the best idea to put it right out on the internet. Go through a VPN is much more safe to do it. Because I know lots of people that have put their Nextcloud, for example, up on the internet, completely free, just username and password, and then with no limit to password tries, things like that, right? Just very, very unsafe.
Man, we've seen people put their SSH port.
We've
through
put
the
and using port 22 at that.
I was on that list of people that had it open to the internet for a little bit.
For a little bit of time. Yeah,
I
you
got
live
that
and learn.
changed.
At least you didn't get burned.
Yeah.
On that note, though,
Yeah.
anyone that's looking for, cause they're kind of new to the whole home lab idea and self-hosting, what kind of like suggestions could you give them on setting up their own backup or self-hosted solution?
I think start small is what I would suggest, because home lapping is such a vast and such a rabbit hole. You can get overwhelmed really, really quickly. So start small by hosting services that easy, like Bookstack, for example.
Yep.
Hosting services that data is not critical. Like if you lose some written document, it might not be the end of some recipe.
Yeah.
It might not be the end of the world. But if you have your whole images that got hacked and they kind of locked down the access to your file, and you don't have backup, that would be the end of the world to some people.
Yeah.
And
Right.
always have backup. On-site backup, off-site backup.
Yeah.
Yep.
We preach that.
Yeah, we do. So with that being said, I think a little birdie told me you got a HL15 there recently. What kind of things are you using that for? Any backup or are you putting active data on that? Kind of talk us through kind of some of the plans you have for that guy.
Well, I actually migrate all my drive from my old server over.
Nice.
The old server, my server was in the mini ATX form.
Okay. Yep.
So it's quite dense, and I have 3 drive in there, 20 terabyte each, and we don't have enough. Well, the server, that box doesn't have enough airflow, so the drive temperature was on 60 degrees Celsius on average.
Yeah.
That's I don't think that's a healthy temperature for the drive.
No.
No, a little too
Yep.
warm.
And yep, and then as soon as I guess the HL15, I export my ZFS pool, move it over, and now the drive temperature dropped down to 30 C.
Wow. That's a lot more manageable.
Yeah.
With the temperature in the drive, like the drive temperature drop, did you notice much trade-off in noise?
Noise, as in
Fan
like
noise.
if you, I can't really tell because the fan of the HL15 is quite prominent, so I don't hear the
hard drives.
The hard drive.
So you've got three
Yeah,
20 terabytes in there, is it?
3, yep, and then other 3 2 terabyte, which I have 2 different Z pool that I created to test and implement different things. My plan is to eventually expand those drive more so that I can fill up this 15 bay. I think it's a fantastic build, guys. I love it so much, and it gives me
Appreciate
reason to upgrade my network to 10 gig.
That's exactly what that was for.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
So
It's
thank
funny.
you for that.
You finally got the excuse, and you're finally able to make the case to the wife. Oh, we need this switch, honey.
Yeah.
We need to have
We
it.
need it.
It was your
I need
idea
to
to
run the
start this.
table.
Now I got to keep it going.
That's awesome.
I did have a question too, a little bit about the development of Immich. So we had a note there, like that coming out of school, you had little experience with programming because, well, I went through electrical engineering myself, and they dabble a little bit, but you don't do whatever. But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of engineering. They kind of just teach you how to figure out problems,
Yeah.
and then you can go from there. So a lot of eventually came self-taught, and you built with Immich. But any particular like language that you like working with, like front end, back end, and with that, what is kind of the architecture that you have Immich working? What would you build it out of? Like Python, little JavaScript? I don't know.
Okay, so I try to learn. Well, so during my self-taught career, I try to learn everything.
Yep.
So I just get on Udemy and then get into that whole tutorial hell. I do a lot of JavaScript. Well, I actually started with free code
Okay.
which is
Yep.
fantastic. It's give me
Mm-hmm.
the hang of programming and the interest back into it. And then after that, a lot of Udemy course on different technology, different front end stack from Angular, Vue to React, and then I'll also do mobile development. Started with native
Mm-hmm.
Swift on iOS. Then I moved to Ionic for cross-platform
Hmm.
at when I was building the Bluetooth product. And then after that, Flutter came out, and this really interests me. So I dive more into Flutters. So this application actually we are using a lot of JavaScript,
Yep.
TypeScript,
Mm-hmm.
and for the web front end we are using SvelteKit because at the time I heard about Svelte, but I've heard it's nice. So let's see how nice this is actually building an application. Then I just pick it.
Nice.
And now it's
Okay.
the second most star project on GitHub that built using SvelteKit after Svelte.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that must feel pretty awesome to see that sitting up in number 2.
And then,
Yep. And then yeah, so so for the back end, we use Nest.js as a
Yeah.
framework for Express because it create a very nice logical segmentation of your app, so you can develop better and quicker. And then a lot of the contributor and well, the reason to choose the JavaScript ecosystem because it's big and
Mhm.
it's low level entry, and a lot of people now that has the nature of doing all JavaScript. So it's gain. So that I think that is the reason that gain a lot of the contribution from the community. So because they can read, they can understand the code, they can go help you fix things. And Dart or Flutter on the other side is quite similar to JavaScript as well. So it's helping people to have that interchange knowledge
Yep.
to help work on the application together.
Cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, that's good though. Spread across, learn a bunch of different languages. They're fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, you start off in that tutorial hell. You can only do so many hello worlds. And
Yeah.
Udemy is great. Same with the other one that you mentioned too. Good place to get you started.
Codecademy.
Yeah.
Was it Codecademy or CodeCon? I know there's a couple different ones.
Free code cam. Free
Yeah.
code.
Camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's like once you get all the concepts down and you're moving from language to language, it starts to get easier and easier to.
Yep.
Just the syntax changes. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
So actually, with that, there's talking about the development process that you guys went through, and kind of 2 years coming up. We have a little segment that we do called War Stories, where it's just essentially talking about something that you got into. We thought, oh, this is going to be easier. This won't be too big of a deal. And then you come out the other side way later, down the rabbit hole, a new man, and learned a whole lot.
Yep.
If you have any idea, anything that happened like that to you that you could share with us, we'd love to hear it.
Yep. So one of the nice thing about Google Photo is you have a timeline that you can scrub, right? You
Yep.
can just pick a month and a year. You click on it, it jumps directly to that point. That is very challenging. And luckily, there is an article of the guy from Google, the engineer from Google, that in that team. So he kind of talked through the idea of how to implement it in that article. So I spent a whole week of reading the article, trying to reverse engineer that logic to make that fit into the application. And after that, I feel like a new man because I reverse engineer something
Reverse engineered it, yeah.
from Google and make it work. And from since that mechanism of the timeline is implemented, is increase the user satisfaction, I would say,
Nice.
from myself and from my wife tremendously.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's a
it's-
huge feature.
It's so nice just to jump to when our daughter was born. Just
Yeah.
jump
Yep.
right to that month, and then you can see it without scroll down, scroll forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the the
Love it.
worst
War story.
or the
War story, yeah. No, I love it. That's a great one.
Yeah, it is.
Which your comment about user satisfaction, I know you were talking about yourself and your wife, but it does lead me like, how involved do you get in the community around Immich? I know you've posted on self-hosted and stuff. Do you guys have, where do you do tech support? How does that all work?
You actually get your monthly update, right, that you mentioned. Is there anything else aside from that?
How do you engage with the community, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, so we try to engage the community through Discord.
Okay,
A lot
nice.
of people don't like it because it's not self-hosted, but we choose it as the same way that we choose, or I choose, GitHub.
Yeah.
It's well known and it's easier
Ubiquitous,
to get to for the people need support, so they don't have to create a Matrix account or spin up a Matrix instance, just be able to talk to you. And the support has getting overwhelmed lately because the amount of new people that coming in and asking question has increased exponentially. Before we would say that, so if you monitor your Discord server, you can see how many people coming in per day. So it's starting from maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 people coming in per day. Now it can go up to 20 to 40 people
Wow.
per day.
Oh, wow.
That is the server. Some just drop in to say thank you. Some drop in with question, and a lot of question that got asked over again and again and again. So we have to make a support team so that we can do a community support. And I have to say thank you for the community because everyone seemed to be really supportive and helping each other very, very well. Yeah.
Love it.
For
And I was in the Discord channel there. I think I was talking to you and one of your admins there, and the way you guys did the support system in the Discord too was really cool. It kind of like, it gives you steps and it says you got to do this, this, and this, and you have to upload these 2 log files if you want help.
Yeah.
So it's straightforward and you get everything you need right there instead of going back and forth. Can I get this? Can I get that? Saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
That tells you they got the experience, because there's nothing worse than going through those same 3-4 steps over and over and over again with the same new people.
Yep. Yeah, we have to ask so many times. Hey, can you post your setup, please?
Yeah.
Cannot help you without knowing the setup.
Being in the service team, I kind of know it a little too well.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's the dream, right? Like you build a good product, you have a good philosophy behind it that helps the community, and then the community in turn helps you.
Yeah,
because they
exactly.
figure it out, and then it starts to feed itself. And,
That's right.
And that's a sign of a good, healthy open source project. So again, I just want to say congrats.
Congrats.
You've built something really useful
you.
here, and yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
For the past 3 months I've been using it. I've been even pushing it onto my non-techie friends. I'm that blown away with how good it is. For some reason, when I see something that's that well designed, I can't shut up about it. It was just phenomenal in my eyes. But do you have any cool ideas or updates that are coming up soon that you're looking forward to pushing out?
Yeah, one of the things that Immich is lacking right now is charging, because right now we have a clip on contextual search. So if you want to search a photo of your baby holding a stuffed animal like a duck, an animal, you can type in baby holding yellow duck.
Yeah.
Show you. That's mind blowing. So when we first
It is.
implemented
It really
that,
is.
it is crazy. But the lacking thing here is the search that more traditional search. So for example, searching by date range, searching by city, searching by like a more traditional
like the
filtering.
metadata, like the
Yep.
the okay,
The
gotcha.
metadata search. So we wanted to do it for so long, but there were some technical obstacle, I would say. So at first we were using a different library called typesend. So that would help you a lot with contextual search, freeze text search, but that creating an additional database. We removed that. And now we used an add-on directly to the Postgres database that would
Okay.
help you with that. And we are just waiting for that add-on to go stable this month so that we can come back and then we can do all of those cool search features.
Ah,
So-
very cool.
Stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yep. think I'm gonna be dipping my toes into this pretty soon.
Oh, definitely.
I always found it funny when I was talking about it around the office for the first little bit. I was saying Immich, and everyone kept going, Mitch?
Immich?
Actually,
Immich?
great question. How did we not even think of this? Where'd the name come from?
Oh,
How'd you
yeah.
think of that?
Well, my native tongue is Vietnamese,
Okay.
so I just think, okay, now we have photos, we have photo prism, we have photo structure, we have all type of photo. How about image? Okay, image. But how does it written in Vietnamese? Okay, so I am. So it's not an actual word in Vietnamese, but how it's being spelled out loud. So it's IMMICH. Okay, it's pretty nice. Okay, yeah, do it.
I like that. That's
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
The best names come from simple things like that. I
That's
think
awesome. Yeah.
Very cool, man. This has been great. Very insightful.
Yeah. So I think with that, we're nearing the end. We'll wrap up here. So Alex, I want to thank you so much for joining us. This is really good stories. Thank you so much for the product. You can get Immich at immich.app, IMMICH.app. Check out the Discord. A lot of good stuff going on there. And then I'll hand it over to you, Alex. Is there anything you want to plug? Anywhere else that you want to? Just anything.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the show, and thank you everybody for using Immich. If you are watching this, and I want to personally thank the team, because without them, we cannot have Immich. And yeah, so yeah, keep using it and giving us feedback. We're gonna make it better and make it stay free for everyone that interested into this, that have the application to view your precious memory. That's the goal.
Awesome.
Wow. Very, very, very good way to finish.
No, and I love it. Yeah,
Love
thank
it.
you, team, because it make it work. Thank you, the community, and thank you to you, Alex.
Thanks,
And
man.
For using it for 3 months, you guys are doing a hell of a job. You got it
Thank
bang
you.
on.
Thank
And
you.
with that, we'll sign off.
And that's
what's
what's
spinning
spinning
this week.
Alrighty.
All right. See you next week.